Welcome to Worlds Collide, a wrestling card podcast for wrestling fans by wrestling fans, featuring Tony Vella from WrestlingTradingCards.com.
This is like a stock market.
And Zhan Morning from Wrestling with Cards on YouTube. And I'm not saying there's a right or wrong answer, I'm just posing the question. Join them as they navigate the world of wrestling cards, helping you build a bigger and better collection and making some money along the way. What's up, wrestling fans, trading card collectors? Back again, and it's another This Is Your Card, and we have another kind of obscure name. Maybe not. I don't know. It's R Truth. What do you think?
R Truth, yeah. Did someone request this?
I don't remember. I'm so bad at this.
I don't remember. This sounds like something that someone requested.
I think someone requested it, and I screenshotted it and put it in the notes. But he's kind of he's a mainstream guy, like still occasionally on WWE TV. I think I don't watch the product religiously anymore, but he had that 24/7 title run, and he was kind of a jokester for a while. But as we get into this, you're going to see like there was a point in time where he was like seen as like a legitimate wrestler, not just the comedy act that WWE kind of turned him into. So
there's a former NWO World Champion.
Yeah, we'll probably get into that as we talk. There's one interesting thing that I'll get into that a lot of people are unfamiliar with him, which I think is ironic, but I digress. Trading card database, according to them, 716 cards of R-Truth, which seems like quite a bit for this level of talent, but I think what that is I think his time in WWE was in that glut of Topps product release from like the late 2010s into the 2020s.
Yep.
Like there was so much product, and he's in so much of that, as we're going to talk about. So,
and he's been around for a long time.
He doesn't look like it, but I think people don't understand that. And again, that goes back to the one interesting thing I want to talk about later. But we'll start off with the rookie card, the first card. 2001 is pretty much the rookie year. He's got multiple copies of cards in this set, so it's one of those things where the market dictates it, or you dictate it based on what you want, what the image or what the brand or whatever. And mine is the Raw is War number 31 is the card that I chose. I just think it's the image and the card design that best represents him. So I'll let you take it from there.
1 second. I heard something. Sorry for the interruption, folks. I'm at the store. Same year, 2001 for me. I like the Championship Clash card, number 42. I like that whole little sub set that make up the base set called Profile of a Champion. But you can pick anything from 2001, really. Your choice is just as good as anything else. I mean, he's also got a card in the. You want to talk about the first card that came out from that year would probably be that it would be the Fleer WrestleMania set, and he's in there as K-Quick.
Yep.
That would be his first card, I guess. So if you want to go with rookie, Fleer WrestleMania card, because that came out first.
Quick side note, because we've touched on it before, but since we're talking about it, what's your view on what's considered the first card as far as like naming? So R-Truth, Ron Killings, K-Quick, what is it, the first appearance that you would go for as a collector? If that's specifically what we're talking about, obviously, if you're a super collector, player collector, whatever, you probably want them all. But if you had to pinpoint one, does the name really matter to you on something like this?
100% does not matter to me.
Okay.
Does not matter. I don't go after Kane's card from 98 Superstars and go, no, his rookie is that for Kane. But I have an Isaac P. Yankem card from the magazine card. It's the human being, the person. The gimmick means nothing. The gimmick doesn't mean anything to me. It's the person who became the gimmick, that whether that made them famous or made them popular or not. That's irrelevant to me as a collector. To me, if I'm going to go after, I predominantly go after Dexter Lumis cards, but I also go after, Sam Shaw cards too, because that's who he wasn't over an Impact in TNA. So it doesn't matter to me. I don't care what your gimmick was when you became popular. I care about when you're, as a human being, the first time you were on cardboard.
That's kind of how I am too. I just wanted to throw that out there and get your opinion since we were talking about it. It was a really good example of his name. Best card. So for me, I was constantly looking at cards where he had the mic in his hand, because I think that's what he's known for. He's known for the rap. He's known for for talking and the promos, which again, towards the end of the show, we're going to talk about something that he does on the mic that I don't think a lot of people understand. So for me, actually, I went with a more modern release, the 2021 Topps Chrome card number 36. Pick a parallel, take your base, refractor, whatever it is. But that image to me just sums up R-Truth, K-Quick. Like anything I've ever known him for was something on the mic. So
for me, I agree with that. Something on the mic. I didn't even consider that, because that's kind of, mostly his shtick is mic work for him, and being funny and the comedic stuff. I went with the 2011 Topps Classic card. First off, I've really recently have fallen in love with this card set, the Classic set. I think it's a really beautifully designed card set. I love it. And I love that card of him in card number 53. It's a great profile picture of him. He's just freaking ripped in the picture, and it's just I think it's a really underrated set. I going through I've got Nick from Crazy Card Collector over here helping me out here in the store, selling sorting cards from collections I bought. I've got tens of thousands of singles over here. I'm trying to merge into other stuff, and coming across some singles from that set, and I go, wow. I mean, 'cause that was during a time that I wasn't really collecting, so it sort of just didn't really register with me. And looking at the card set, and I go, this is a really cool looking card set. And then I found that one of R-Truth, and I go, this is a really good looking card. I like this card.
You think it's one of those things where it's part of that glut of Topps releases?
Possibly, definitely
it's just
overlooked.
Something that's getting lost in the shuffle. I've noticed that too with like some of the collections I've purchased that are generally older cards. There's like random Topps cards in there that I didn't even know existed until I saw them. And then I had to go to your website and look them up. And I'm like, oh, there's this whole thing of this. Like it just fell under the radar.
I didn't even, I knew when I saw it, it's something I forgot about, but knew about. Like, oh, I totally forgot they put a Money in the Bank card set out. Oh, I totally forgot they put out that Rival set in 2007, whatever it was. I totally forgot about this, Champion set. You just forget about these ones because they put out, like you said, this just a bunch of random different kind of cards, because I'm sure to probably test the market and see how they stuck and maybe make those an annual thing or not. But I'll tell you one thing, getting a little off topic, I'll tell you one thing that really drives me insane, and even getting someone like Nick come over here, it's like that, who's a little more in tune with that kind of stuff than I am, is going through that era of where they had the flagship, flagship, then now forever, and then Road to WrestleMania. And they inserted these chase cards that were continuations in each release, and then trying to find out, like, holy crap, what does this one go to? I mean, it became, it's difficult. It's really Topps did not make it easy to go and
interesting concept, but not easy to kind of follow along.
So I've learned quite a bit over the last month or so of everything from 2015 forward, as far as the flagship, then now forever, that kind of stuff. It's just incredible. But so doing some homework about R-Truth stuff, I really liked that that Classic set. It looks sweet. I mean, it's just a foil set. The whole entire base set's a foil set. It looks awesome.
All right, now on to the worst card, and I'll let you kick this off because I'll just let you
go. I despise that. First off, I shouldn't despise. That's a tough thing. Let me retract. I was not a fan of the whole 3 Live Crew bit that was done in
understatement.
TNA. Okay, I was not a big fan of that, and he was part of that.
Yeah.
Okay, and there is a small little chase set called the Tag Team set that came out of the 2004 Pacific set, and he is on as a group on card number 3 as part of the 3 Live Crew. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit, sir. Do not like it at all.
Do you think this has more to do with your dislike of the card or your dislike of this faction? Because for me, it's the faction.
I think it's a combination of both. I think one makes me feel about the other.
I remember during this time seeing TNA, and I saw these 3 out there, and I'm like, this feels like it's not, but it feels to me, it had that vibe. Like it was 3 old dads out there trying to be cool. And it's just not working. Like
yes. Like, dude, sorry, dude, but your high school called.
Yeah, I don't know. And I can't remember. Is he Ron Killings? Is he
He's Ron Killings.
Ron Killings on this one?
Yep.
Because
Yep.
they switch his name so much in between here, which is there's another name that he goes by that a lot of people like. I keep teasing this because I have so much to say about the end of the show, but my worst card is actually one of the rookie cards, the '01 Fleer WrestleMania set, not that subset that's got the golds or whatever, but it's card number 41. And the reason I don't like it, it's an action shot, and I believe he's doing like a tiger driver or his finisher or something, but you just can't really. It's not a good visual. Like you can't see him very well, and it's like I hate action shots anyway. So when you combine an action shot with something that's not clear.
Yeah. Yeah, it's when you can't see the subject that the card's supposed to be about, it kind of takes away from it. But that set, like several of the Fleer set, it had one level of parallel. So they have that card, and then there's like a championship gold stamped on it. But yeah.
All right, moving on to what is usually the most fun part of the show, where I have so much to say, but so I'll let you go first. Card that we would create.
Mine's very simple. I think comical in a sense too. I wanted to be simple and comical. I would just do a dual relic where I would have like the headband of R-Truth, or pick whatever you want. I just think the headband be lower current run, I guess, kind of thing. But then I'd have like an empty space next to it for little Jimmy.
That is
because little Jimmy's imaginary. It's like that. For those who don't know, it's like and I just thought that'd be great to have like this an empty space, like no, it's a relic from little Jimmy. And then there's a relic
that has the same feel to me as the like Prism Color Blast you see running around with John Cena and he's not there.
Yeah, I just think it's hilarious though, but it'd be funny because it fit it fit the character because it's supposed to be comedic, and two, it'd just be unusual. And it's like, oh, I got an air cut. No, it's not an air cut. It's little Jimmy. He's like, oh, I get it. That's funny. I get it. So that's just to me, my stupid sense of humor. Carry on.
No, I think it's great. Like we've seen it a little bit with Panini where they're trying to make like a little bit of an effort to put forth into their relics or the way a card is numbered or something like that.
Yeah, they're trying to really connect with the talent, so the personality and the card, whatever it's offering, so it's connected to, which is smart.
It is, and I just wish there was a little bit like what you said. I wish there was a little bit of comedic value, because I think many times collectors take themselves too seriously. Got to laugh a little bit. Let's have some fun, and this is a prime example of
which makes sense. If you have a character who is known as being something funny, why not put something together to kind of emphasize that?
Right. Yeah. All right, now I'm going the complete other direction. And this is, I've kept teasing this and teasing this. The guy that you see with the 24/7 title on the gigantic corporately sponsored show was at one time a New Jack clone, essentially in XPW. A lot of people don't know this. So what I would do is I still can't believe XPW, even the modern day version, does not have trading cards. There is no XPW cards out there of any kind. So somebody should change that. Anyway, so I would create an XPW card, a 1/1, with a mic relic in it. So people have seen the baseball cards that have the bat knobs in them.
Yep.
Same concept, except it would be a mic. And there would be a QR code on the back. And you scan that QR code, and it sends you straight back to, you could pick one of his, language-filled tirades from his promos in XPW. When he was in XPW, his name was K. Malik Shabazz. And he would rip the crowd. It was profanity laden, and it was just like a different version of New Jack. It's not like he was trying to copy New Jack. He was just doing something similar. And for those of you who have never experienced that R-Truth was actually like a serious heel, it's very hard to believe. Go back on YouTube. You can find this stuff everywhere. Just type in R-Truth XPW or Malik Shabazz, or you can find it. And I think there's even one episode where on YouTube where the video thumbnail is actually him like leaning into the mic. Like you can tell he's getting ready to say something he shouldn't. And there's a lot of bleeps going on because it was on TV at the time. So I just wanted to bring that out there to people as I teased it the whole show, that it is, when you start digging into the actual wrestling history for some of these characters we see on cardboard, it's amazing the stuff that you can find. And I remember seeing it at the time, but I wanted to bring it up because when you look at what he does now, you know, visiting the children's hospital and being on the Snickers sponsored show, and then going back and seeing the stuff he was saying back then, totally different guy.
Got to be honest. Didn't know that. Learned something new today. It's awesome.
Yeah, I just don't love digging in rabbit holes like that. So what do you think about R-Truth going forward? I've seen some people that collect him. From a value perspective, I'll just kick it off. Like, I don't think his stuff's going to go up or go down. I think it's just going to kind of continue to be what it is. But I think he's a personality that I could see people really latching onto for one reason or another. Now, if you're going to tell me if you're a super collector and you've got to have the 3 Life Crew card, I understand. But do you know of anybody that was actually a fan of that faction? Because I do not.
I do not. No, okay. I do not. Personally, I'm sure there's got to be somebody out there who was like, I totally dig this, but you know, I don't know of them personally. So
nothing against the talents involved. It was just putting them together with that
it didn't click.
Hip cool dad act.
Yeah.
It just didn't pull. No,
it didn't click. Well, it didn't click with me, anyways. I don't know how long that lasted, but I mean, it was important enough for them to go and put them on a card.
True.
And actually on a couple of cards in that set, as a matter of fact. But yeah, I don't know. Going forward, you know, a nostalgic piece, you know, again, but that's what wrestling really is, man. I mean, you know, some guys out there are totally into like you know, whoever. I mean, some guys like the Miz, some guys don't, you know. Some guys
ongoing joke never ends.
Some guys, you know, are Dolph Ziggler collectors, some guys are, you know, obviously the Rock collectors and everything else in between. So I'm sure there's a market out there for them. Your investments on R-Truth stuff, unfortunately, no disrespect, Mr. Truth, are, you know, not going to help you put your kids through college.
Sure.
But it'd be fun. Definitely an affordable thing if you're looking for something fun to collect, something different. Definitely very affordable. I've got to imagine. I haven't done my homework on what his prices go for, but I can't imagine they're going to be going for skyrocketed pricing.
No.
But it could be fun. I mean,
something that just came to mind that you just mentioned, and I actually started it with, you know, we've got people that super collect. We've got people that want to put, like, he's in the 5 Timers set, I believe. So we have people that want to put together the 5 Timers club sets. But I think maybe his cards, and, you know, you can pick it from any year, any name, any parallel, autograph, whatever you want to pick. I think he could be one of those guys that, like, people want to put together a collection of just memories and nostalgia. They're not they're just a wrestling fan, and they want that art. They're like, oh yeah, I remember when R-Truth did this, and that was funny, or that was, you know, I liked his promo or whatever. So they go back and they try to find maybe the year that happened and what that meant to them. And, you know, just so I think he's kind of more that style, just kind of the one-off card for somebody's collection.
There's a lot of guys like that, I think, too. I mean, it's all, again, nostalgic pieces like that. You know, Mike Summer, he collects, you know, Norman Smiley.
Right.
I mean, there's a guy that not a lot of people will probably go out and collect. And he's like, you know what? I connected with that character for whatever reason it was. I believe he told a story once before. And, you know, and he's got a cool collection about Norman Smiley stuff, you know. If he had more cards, I'd probably go out there and collect Iron Mark Sharp stuff because I liked him. You know, I thought he was a good bad guy. I connected. It takes me back to a time watching wrestling on Saturday mornings or whenever the case may be, and remember seeing him on there and just going like, oh, this guy, like, oh, he's gonna beat that guy. Oh man, he lost again. You know, it just takes me back to connecting pieces of, you know, somebody who wasn't as big a star to somebody who I end up becoming a fan of, whether it be Rick Rude or Kurt Hennings, like that. And so it just that's what wrestling always is about, taking you down those memory lanes, and then be like, you know what, geez, I'm going to go back and check YouTube and find some old match slam. I'll tell you right now, I'm really getting into you know, another sidetrack here. With a store, I got the TV installed in here. It's like that. I got the big old 65-inch TV installed out there. I've been watching the network a lot. Well, I still call it the network. I hadn't watched wrestling like this in over 15 plus years. And I'm going back. And the first thing I went and watched, just randomly, I just picked randomly, I watched the 87 and 88 Survivor Series.
Oh, yeah.
And man, bring me back to the memories like that. The commentating, the crowd reactions, the storytelling in the ring, the characters. It just took me back to that time. It's like having fun, man. It's like, it's fun having it on the background. And like, I can't get work done sometimes because I'm just watching. going,
Right.
oh man, and I'm trying to be, turning my watching or listening into some content by creating some stuff for the, the store's social media handles, trying to engage with people about having conversations and stuff. And the documentaries on that channel, oh my God, like, you know, uh, watching the Scott Hall one on the anniversary
Oh
of
yeah.
passing, I felt like I was cutting onions in here. And then, then watching the, 316 day, watching the Stone Cold. I never watched these things. I never watched any of them. Now I'm watching them. Damn, they're good. And
Yeah.
there's some good stuff in there. And I'm surprised the amount of, obviously not, it's some vulgarity, that I didn't expect them to let go through on the network. The blood letting all go through on the network. It's just fun to go back and reminisce. And that translates back to what the cards do for me. The
Yep.
cards take me back to those times. So if you have a guy like R Truth or Iron Mike Sharp or, Special Delivery SD Jones or, whatever the case
Barry
may be.
Horowitz.
Barry Horowitz, the Rougeau brother. I mean, whatever it may be, if you're into that, that is awesome, man. That is
Agreed.
awesome that wrestling cards can take you back to that. And that's where I find someone to be like a Ron Killings, R Truth, whatever you want to call him. I think his cards could be fun for someone if that's what you're into.
Yep. Collecting,
Every
and
time
that's
we do
something.
it, every time we do one of these, it's like we'll have a big mainstream name or someone small. I mean, hell, we start off with Beefcake and we've gone, down this rabbit hole with Paul Heyman and different things like that. I mean, it's different strokes for different folks, man. And I just think it's so cool that there's so many characters in wrestling. And if you're a fan of wrestling and you just Dexter Lumis, I just watched his first match for my entire life just a couple days ago.
That's saying something. I remember
I
this whole
never
time you've been collecting him and you haven't watched it.
never watched him like that. I haven't heard him speak, but I have never watched him like that. So it's just interesting. I go, okay, yep, I guess this is what I'm collecting. But having fun with it. And that's all it really matters is having fun with it. We talk about this over and over again on so many episodes like a broken record. It's just about having fun. And we have to constantly, and I want to do that in 2023. I want to just pound it into people's heads about having fun. Don't get caught up in the negativity. Just do what you were supposed to do with the wrestling cards to begin with, which was to collect and have fun.
Yep. Yeah, and that's something that when we always mention this thoughts on this person's card going forward. And something I have to continually, I know this, but subconsciously I'm not thinking about it when we're talking about this, is that, not everybody's a super collector and not everybody is collecting high end. Like there are people out there who just want the one-off 1990 Classic. They want the one-off 2022 Prism. Like they just want those one-off base cards or a parallel, an autograph, whatever it is, because it means something to them, like you just said. And I think that's what a lot of us have to continue to remember is that not everything has to, not every person identifies as a super collector. Not everybody identifies as a set collector. Not everybody identifies as a investor, quote, flipper, or whatever. There's people from all spectrums. It takes all of us to keep this going. Yep. And I think it's just something that we've got to stop and realize when we kind of think about what we say. And I'm just as guilty as anybody else.
Yeah.
I probably said stuff that's incorrect. I know I've said stuff that's incorrect, or maybe I was too opinionated on something, but something to just keep in mind as you're just scouring the world of wrestling cards and talking to people in the community and just realizing that everybody's doing different things, different ways. And as long as people are talking about it, as long as people are buying, and as long as people are collecting, I see no problem with any of it.
Yeah, and that's what R Truth is. I think R Truth is a perfect character to kind of to equate this to, because it's somebody who, let's be honest, is never going to be that upper echelon, but he's also never going to be that bottom barrel kind of guy. He's just somewhere in kind of mediocre, and mediocre is a bad word. Just in that mid card. He's a mid
card with a little bit more entertainment value.
Like that. It's like, we've got guys like that over the years with, R Truth and Santino Marella, and
there's another good one. Yeah.
Things like that where they're fun. And if you're a collector looking for fun and at affordable times, affordable stuff, these are the kind of guys that I think, and that's what R Truth is always going to be that way. I think he's going to always be an affordable kind of guy. You might see a spike in his stuff if he were to get inducted in the Hall of Fame or something like that, whatever, like everybody would probably tend to be. But just fun. I think it's gonna be a fun collections like that. Every time we have conversations like that, like this, when we talk about this is your card, it always makes me kind of think about like, is there somebody else out there along these lines that I might want to go after? Because this could be kind of a fun project. And I go,
I'll tell
no,
you.
Tony.
Yep.
I don't need another project.
That's what I was gonna say. Like I am a stickler for being focused on what I've done, and what do? Do exactly what I tell people not to do. Is I all of a sudden I start straying because of what I'm still like I'm looking at those kabooms coming out. I really want that rock card, but I'm like, if I do that, then I can't buy all this other. Like it's just it's part of it. It's part of the hobby. It's what we do.
Yeah,
part of the fun. Because if we're not sitting here and thinking about it, and we're just buying the cardboard and throwing it in a box and never looking at it or thinking about it or talking about it, why? What's the point? So
that's right.
All right, let everybody know where they can find you or anything else you got going on you want to mention.
Just over here running the store here, the Wrestling Guy store, Phoenix. Always bringing in some talent. We got some names lining up here. I'm not going to say anything right now. Just got some names. I've talked to some people throughout the year. Going to come in and meet the fans, sign some autographs, take pictures, and we'll be taking the mail orders in as well. But check us out over at the Wrestling Guy store, phx.com or wgspHX.com. Both take you to the same place. And then for wrestlingtradingcards.com. It's right there, wrestlingtradingcards.com. You find all of our social media handles in the bottom of every single page. Jump on there, interact, share your cards, show us what you got. You got our truth cards, man. What's your favorite R-Truth card out there? What do you have?
Let's see those pictures. Tag us in it.
See what you got, man. Don't be afraid to tag, and let's talk about R-Truth cards. What about you?
Absolutely. Yep. And I'll kind of piggyback on that. You can find me Wrestling with Cards on YouTube, Wrestling with Cards, my solo podcast. Links to everything Tony talked about, links to everything that I've mentioned, ways you can get a hold of us, the other content that we've got going. You can find that in the show notes of this video or the show notes of the podcast if you're listening to the audio only version. We appreciate your time. Thank you for taking the time out of your day when you could have been doing anything else to listen to us talk about R-Truth. I mean, if you're doing that, then that shows that you really do care about the hobby and wrestling, and you're having fun. It's what we want to bring to light, different ways to have fun. So Tony, I know you want to talk about not talking about negative stuff. Continue to do positivity, and I'm not so much like that. I'll talk about the negative things when I'm supposed to, but I just keep going back to what are you doing? What am I doing? What's everybody else doing? If we're not having fun, we can still be negative. You can still be positive, but if you're not having fun, why are you even doing any of this? So guys, keep doing what you're doing. I hope this video, this audio, I hope it brings you some sort of value, some sort of way that helps you collect or maybe think about something differently. I think that's what we've always wanted to do, is bring a point counterpoint and kind of make you use your critical thinking skills when it comes to, I collect this because of this. Maybe I should change my direction. Maybe I should start this new PC. Although me and Tony both think that's probably a dangerous game, but it is what it is. That's what we play when we're in part of the hobby. So we thank you. Please subscribe. Leave us a review wherever you're listening to this. Give it a like. And more importantly than any of that, maybe share it with a friend, share it with a collector, share it with a wrestling fan, sports card collector. It doesn't matter. Just get it out there. Tony's rocking and rolling. I think he's got something he wants to say.
Just get a little R-Truth down there. That's all. That's
what a way to end it.
That's right. All right, guys. Now, don't forget, man. Wrestling cards rule.
Goodbye.